Okay, welcome back to our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. Pretty soon, I won't have to say that whole long thing because they're changing the name to just Hyperborea. The party has been traveling through the crystal caverns. Crystal caverns. That used to be Crystal's YouTube channel. The Black Crystal Lair, which is the at least base. They're figuring of the Miko, who are pretty bad characters here. They've been making their way through after forming an alliance with the crabmen below, who maybe are less bad. But in any case, after destroying some strange technology type apparatus and fighting off some Migo with the disintegrator pistols, the party has come into a room which is quite large, some probably 50 feet-ish in every direction. It's a square, but it's kind of on sides, so it's a diamond, I guess, technically from where you're coming from, with passageways to the north and south, and you came in from the east. But before we get into too much detail here, we'll just come through. You guys can intro your characters, and if there's any extra information you want to put out there, and then we will get to it. So let's start with Crystal.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm playing Inicinos Nepos Kineti. Everyone just calls him Enzo for short. And he is a barbarian who is out here getting gold so he can bring it back to his mama and his village. And last episode he had to fire a laser pistol for the first time, so he's having internal conflict with that now. So that will be fun. That is Enzo.
It's a powerful weapon, if not strange technology. I forgot to mention that it is the 20th day of the 5th month of the 11th year. If anybody out there is keeping track, the party started just as children, and now they're almost adults. Nikki, tell us about your character.
I play Vanessa. She is a bard. Really good friends with Brighild, and she's still a little worried about Brighild after her traumatic ordeal of dying and coming back to life. She's not been quite the same, so Vanessa always has Brighild in the back of her mind. But Vanessa has no qualms about using the pistols to kill these things, as she has watched them kill several of her friends. So unlike Enzo, she is looking for more of these Migo to disintegrate because they are bad and they are evil, and that's what she wants to do. And she sympathizes with Brighild wanting to disintegrate all their technology after what happened to her. So that is what Podesta is doing right now.
Excellent, excellent. Mike, tell us about your character.
I'm playing Dougal the Wanderer. He's a druid. He originally set out to learn more and to gain, he was looking for treasure to gain a little more standing amongst his people. But once he has discovered what these Migo have been doing out here and how twisted and corrupt nature has become with their presence, he's decided that they're pretty bad actors and something needs to be done about them. And that's Dougal.
All right, excellent. Actually, last time, right, you gained the friendship of some giant eagles with a disease that you helped. So yeah, bringing back the natural balance here. It's good. And finally, last but not least, Tony, tell us about your character.
She runs her fingers through her silver hair, white hair now that used to be blonde naturally, and appears the hair of someone that's probably 40, 50 years older than she actually is, as they are standing in this room, taking it in after the battle is closed. She looks over towards the large barbarian that brings his strength to us now. She looks towards the druid who she is happy to have been there for handling the deal with nature, to speaking with the eagles and the other druid of the island. And then she looks over towards Pinesta and takes it all in. And she sees the pain that Pinesta shares with her, that maybe in a way, what are they doing here? What is this place? What has it done? It's brought nothing but death to all of them, really. But she lets out an exasperation and just goes, well, that's taken care of. I guess we need to see if there's anything in this room worth salvaging, or if there's any more of this technology we should probably destroy. But as the warlock known as Brickhill.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so recap on the room. Let's check something here. Okay. What's in the room still? So you had destroyed several of these Migo who fought you from the room. Some of their laser pistols had survived the disintegration, some had not. But now you're in this kind of largish room, as mentioned. In the center, there is a 12-foot tall obsidian pyramid of sorts. There are, let's see, as each surface closely projects a hologram of what seems to be a bird's eye view, possibly of different parts of Hyperborea. I mean, you'd have to examine it more to know more about that, but it looks like they're kind of overhead. They almost remind you of maps that you've seen, but of course they look to be they're in color, first of all, and very, very detailed. It's the Google Maps of Hyperborea. Before each surface, there is a slim pedestal topped with a ball, and on that ball it's a 1-foot diameter sphere, so it's decently big, black glass. It has two holes, probably like about inch and a half wide. Each one of these has that. Then, as mentioned, you see doors. You see door. Well, you came through a door to the east and to the north and to the south, which I can actually probably show you because you're in this room now. You can see some hallways. Because remember, this place is lit. It's got those black shard crystals kind of coming everywhere out of the walls, very jaggedly coming out of the walls, where there's not like machinery. And there's like a soft purple glow in this entire area. So you don't really need a source of light to see. It's just more like I think I just showed you that much because of the angle you were standing at. So you can see that this goes up here, and then you can see that there's a door down there. As of this exact moment, I guess you can see that opens up into a room. As of this exact moment, you don't see any other creatures or whatever coming. The room seems quiet. So yeah, you've got this pyramid with these projection screens, a couple of which you've already picked up, Migo weapons on the ground. The walls themselves have, kind of ancient technology machines on it, kind of built in. They are some of it looks older, because you can see that it's kind of the crystal shards of the wall are like wrapped around it and kind of almost like sucking it in a way, like kind of overpowering it. Almost like, nature being kind of overcoming like old buildings. But then you do see some clearly newer technology machines that are kind of pushed up against the wall. The only one that seems to be doing anything recognizable again is the one with the maps.
Before you disintegrate this, let me look at these maps. I'd like to take a closer look at the pyramid.
Okay, so it's basically obsidian. It actually looks like as you kind of walk up to it and you look, you can actually, like, you're looking at the maps on them. Then you kind of like look around and you can see actually in the ceiling there are small globes. They seem to be shining basically light onto the pyramid, and with a little, you kind of put your hand in front of it, you can see that it's basically being projected. That these maps are being projected onto this black pyramid. In front of the pyramid, you've got again these pedestals with the balls with the two holes in each one. You can probably figure out pretty easily that because you've looked at enough maps of it that and you're from there, because you can see that there's 4 locations that are being shown, 3 of which are pretty noticeable based on your background. You can see that there is a view of Khromarium where you hail from, of course. You can see that there is, because you've seen it on maps and such, you see there's an overhead shot of Krentek, which is, of course, the village where you kind of last civilized village that you interacted with, and then you can see that the third one that you recognize is Crystal Point, and it actually shows the waters around it, and you can even see your ship floating in the water. And the fourth one seems to show some kind of mountain range with a lot of snow and stuff, but it's not something that you would recognize.
What are these creatures up to, do you think, Vanessa? I mean, it seems they are up to some type of scouting or something to be able to look upon areas of that. And now we see our ship there that we know for sure they knew we were coming and when we were coming.
Yes, I think they're planning something. It would seem they're planning some sort of, perhaps they're planning to infiltrate other areas of Hyperborea, just like they did here, grow their crystals and do their foul experiments. Maybe we can stop them here.
Well, I say we definitely destroy this machine that is projecting these maps so they cannot have any more knowledge of the areas they were trying to find.
Yeah, no, I agree. We don't want them to have any more advantage than they already have.
You want to, as you've done in the past, you want to shoot this thing with the distributor pistol?
Yep, I'm going to shoot it with the map deal. Is that part of it? But I'm also watching Dougal to see if he's like noticing those black orbs, because I remember he had traction on one of those black orbs before.
Of course I am. I'm all over them.
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting. They're glass orbs with 2 holes in the top. They're smaller than what he said. The one that he was attracted to was like a much larger like dome. These things are only little, but yeah, you don't feel any kind of pull towards them, Dougal, per se, unless you're just curious yourself. But mechanically, you're not pulled towards these.
Right. But those things, those holes, are they big enough to stick my fingers into?
Yes, they are actually.
Oh, well. And this thing looks quite solid. I touch it ever so lightly just to make sure that it's solid. And I look around to make sure nobody knows that I'm touching.
Well, we know Brighild is watching you, so you approach it and you're like touching it very softly, and then you look and you see Brighild staring at you. However, she's
I just smile.
Yeah, so you see him touching at it, Brighild.
Yep, she's just sitting there cross-armed, giving him that look.
I slowly slide a finger into one of the holes, like I'm not by accident, on purpose.
And you're like, yeah, your finger slides in. It's big enough that like you don't feel like it's gonna get stuck. Like it's not huge, but it's big enough you can move your finger around a little bit. You feel like it's deeper than the length of your finger, though. So you don't hit anything inside this. It keeps going further in.
Oh. Well, then I'll actually look to see if I...
Okay. Yeah, you look in there. I mean, it's black glass, and you can't really... I mean, it just looks like a reflection of black glass. You can't really see into it.
So if I take my finger and I move it around, does the ball move with it?
No.
Oh. I bored very quickly with this toy.
Okay.
I'll pull my finger.
Do you want to explore it in any other way?
This isn't fun anymore.
You're still alive. You can walk away while you're still alive.
Yes. This doesn't do anything special, so
yeah. Yeah, as far as you can tell, the hole goes down deeper, but you can't, whatever, if there is something down in it, you can't reach it with your, with your finger. Your fingers aren't long enough. Cool. All right, so you stop.
Do you have a wand or something?
No, I don't carry any type of objects like that.
it was something long
You can
and
use-
skinny that I
You can
could,
use my dagger.
a probe. No, I think I need something a little like a long cylinder. So like my finger, but longer.
I have
Dagger
this.
is going to
oh.
be too fat, but yeah.
Maybe chopsticks or something. Where's Eka when I need him?
Probably off watching us laughing invisibly.
Yes.
I don't think I have anything. Because I'm not going to let you put my rod of suffocation in there, that's for sure. So,
That is probably actually too big. I mean, it's
Oh,
barely
is it?
bigger than a finger. Yeah, I mean, I imagine
Okay.
a rod is, like a broomstick. A broomstick would be too wide. It's like just barely bigger than a finger.
okay. Huh.
Okay. Well, I'll just mark this up as a mystery of life.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So if you choose to just ignore it at this point, Brighild, if you want to shoot the pyramid, you could roll.
Yeah, I'm going to
d20.
zap the mapping program.
Let's see. It saves as stone gem. Here we go. Disintegration is 5. So if you roll 18 or better, it doesn't get disintegrated.
That's a 4.
Okay, yeah, it does. So yeah, you point this disintegration pistol at where he backs up, and you shoot it at this thing, and it's and the obsidian dematerializes, and there's a pile of dust there, and of course the 4 little pedestals.
Do you think you should take one of those orbs with you, Dougal, in case you need it later for anything?
Okay. Yeah, I suppose we can make a game out of it later.
Okay, well they're attached to like a pedestal to the ground, and as you're checking, you actually notice that under one of them, just trying to figure out how you might be able to take this thing with you. Under one of them, you actually see that they all have 2 holes in the top, but one of them has underneath it has 3 holes that look similar.
Oh. Oh, look at this. 3 holes.
So there's 5 total in that one. And if you wanted to actually try to take one of these globes, you'd have to like smash the pedestal it's on because it's basically connected to it. It's like one solid piece, like a lollipop.
Can I pull the pedestal up?
Yeah, you think you'd have to break it. Like it's like a crystal growing up out of the ground. So you certainly could try to break it. It'd be a test of strength.
Okay. Let's test the strength.
Good. E6. Let's see if you can break this thing.
Let's get to my character sheet. Test of strength. Oops.
Hey, yeah, perfect. Yeah, so you try to lift it straight up, but it doesn't. Then you're thinking, well, it's crystal, so you're kind of like you twist it, and you hear it snap, and you see like what appears to be some kind of electrical energy kind of sizzle from the end that you broke off, and also from the now you've got almost like a sparkler where it broke off, where the piece of the crystal coming up is like spitting out little bits of electricity. Not very far. But it's like it's not coming off your end though. No, like once you broke it, like it's shocked for a second, and then now it's quiet.
If I move it back closer to the stump of where I broke it off, does it spark again?
Yes,
Oh.
if you get it pretty close, it seems like it's trying to jump across. The electrical's trying to jump across, but it's just like.
Well. Brighild, my lady, would you like a scepter?
No, I do not trust whatever this is, but If you want to cure it along with us, and maybe we can have that creepy invisible guy. If we ever find him again, he could look at him.
Okay, very well. I can carry it along.
Okay. I mean, it's glass and it's fairly chunky, but it's not so heavy that you can't just like kind of put it in your backpack. You're pretty strong. Yeah. So yeah, you load that thing up, and I guess enough time's been going by that I should probably roll one. Actually, Crystal, roll a d6.
Three.
Great. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, all's quiet. Nobody seems to be intruding on your investigation here. You've
Is the
got the
crab
door to
man
the.
just waiting for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the crab man came in the room and he's kind of just, watching guard down the hallway, as are your soldiers.
Okay. Do you guys think
Oh,
we
yeah.
should go south? Oh, sorry.
No, I remember now what happened, Crystal. I think the creature got close enough and they fell asleep. The soldiers, but they're awake now. So.
Picked up all the strange pistols, right?
Yep, all the ones that you could find. I think you got two more. I think you lost one and then you got two more. I think that's how it happened.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Or something to that effect. Or you lost one, you got three more. So in the end, you have two more than you had when you started. However you want to calculate that out. I think everybody has
Yes.
one now at this point.
I agree, Panesta. Maybe we should continue south and check that area first.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, you can move down to the area to the south. There's a door there. Check what this says. Oops. Bring up the mercenaries. What do you want to do with the soldiers? Crystal? I know that you were. Enzo was.
Yeah. Yeah, Enzo will go ahead and direct them to come into the pyramid room so that we can watch, so that they can watch these in each of the three ways in here.
Okay, so you're going to leave them kind of in the room watching, and then you guys are going to head down to the door.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So you come up to this door. It's like the other doors that you've seen in this place. It kind of looks almost like a puzzle, and on each side of the door, about waist high, is a circular hole. Kind of look very similar in size to the hole that is in the ball that you're carrying. And there's one on each side across from each other. And of course, the door is like a pyramid. Not a pyramid, a puzzle.
Dougal, what happens if you try to touch one of the balls to one of these indentations here, or holes, or whatever?
Google's not listening. Or he's
You
been
there,
muted.
Mike?
Yeah, I was pantomiming. That's what I was trying to be stealthy, but no.
Right.
Yeah, he'll go ahead and touch the ball end to
Sure.
the impression.
Yeah, you kind of line up the two holes, and you can see actually that they're very much the same size. They look like the same kind of thing, and you touch them together, nothing seems to happen. It seems like they're both the same. They're both receptacles for something.
I'd stick the sparky end. That was the sparky side.
That doesn't react at all.
That doesn't act at all. Okay. No, nothing so far. I just push it with my hand.
You push. Oh, it's a hole.
Oh, it's a hole. I stick my finger in it.
So it feels the same as the other one. You put your finger in it, you can feel like you can't quite get all the. You're not touching anything. It keeps going.
Okay. I break an arrow, shove an arrow in there.
Okay, yeah. So you do that. You take break an arrow shaft, you shove it in there, and the door opens up.
Hey, look at that.
Well, at least we didn't have to use up another one of your laser sword uses, Rickhild.
Yes,
No,
I
all we
didn't
knew was
wanna-
just an arrow.
I say leave that arrow shaft in there, Dougal. Don't take it out, and maybe it will keep the door open for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Part of me wants to go back and try it with the other pedestals.
Ooh, what do you think would happen?
I don't know.
Let me
This
before
is
you
curious
retreat
thought.
back. Let me just show you let me just say what you see in here before you retreat back anywhere. And that might adjust your plan. I don't know. Who knows? Scores of small starry objects embedded into the dark pyramidal ceiling faintly illume an empty room with a single door on each of its 4 angled walls. So there's about maybe 100 of these like small kind of sparkly objects in the ceiling, about 10 feet above you. And of course, the ceiling is like a pyramid roof. You do see 4 doors in here. All of them have the little hole next to them, and all of them are closed. Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to so you knew what you were facing.
Okay. 10 feet in the ceiling, you said?
The ceiling's about 10, 12 feet up, and you can see that there's like, the whole space is the place that you've been in all alongside these crystals coming out of the walls everywhere. And you still have that in here, but the ceiling is like more smooth, like a pyramid. And there's just these little tiny 100 or so sparkly, clear sources of light kind of illuminating the room.
Dougal, do you have enough arrow shafts to break? Maybe we should each stand at one of these doors and each insert the arrow shaft in at the same time and see what happens.
Arrow.
What if there are creatures waiting behind these doors? We don't want to open up all the doors at once and let them all come pouring out after us.
Oh, you cannot handle 4 creatures in Zelda. Come on.
You can pull the sticks back out again.
All right, well then let's do it.
Well, first of all, we need to make sure Dougal wants to use 4 of his precious arrows as broken.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, now that I have these bizarre, what you call them, pistols. Yes.
Is a pistol?
I think we can handle this. Yeah.
Okay. So you break off 4 more arrows, and everybody assembles themselves around the room. I'm just going to go in the order that you got on my screen, if that's okay, unless somebody has a preference. So I'm going to put, I'm going to go clockwise from here. So Enzo will go at this one. Oops. Oh, I'm on the wrong tool, so you can't see. I'm just going to put Enzo here, unless somebody has a problem, and then it'll be Pernesta, going around in a clockwise manner. Dougal, and then Brighild here.
That's fine with me. Yep.
All right, yeah. So you guys, you count. You're like, okay, are we going on 3, or do you do 3 and then go, or whatever? Then you figure that out, and then everybody pushes the buttons in, and the doors, open up, and you can see in each of these spaces. So each door opens into a smaller room containing a seamless egg-shaped titanium pod. And it's about a little bit bigger than a person. It's probably about 7.5 feet on its long side, but it's like a giant metal egg, shiny metal egg. It's floating above the ground. Doesn't seem to be connected to anything. The only one that's different is the one in the northwest, which is the one that Enzo is looking at. Yours is open. So the egg is like opened up. And inside you can see that there's this like kind of like yellow, what almost looks like feathery, like soft material on both the top and the bottom, and has kind of like an indent of like, well, not a person clearly because it's not made for people, of some kind of creature. And you can see also that there's 4 buttons on the inside like the rim. Everybody else's egg is closed.
Okay.
You tell us that Enzo?
Yeah, and so I mean, if he sees that your eggs are all closed, he'll say, "Hey, my egg is open."
Or maybe we should look at that one first and see if one of us can tell maybe what type of creature or size of creature.
I agree.
Okay. So yeah,
You think these are
guys.
Migo?
Sorry, did you want to close the doors that you're at when you leave them, or are you going to leave them all open?
Yes. I would close mine if I was going to go to Enzo's.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you pull the sticks out, and the doors close.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Daniel's got no audio.
Oh no.
There you are. You're back now.
Okay. Yeah, I had one of those like flash of internet and unstable that Zoom does every once in a while. Sorry. You guys can hear me now or no?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys pull the sticks, the shafts of the arrow, the broken shafts, and I mean, I guess technically you only need to break 2 more arrows because it creates 2 pieces. You take them out, and the doors close, of course, except for the one that Enzo's at, and you all make your way towards that one. Yeah, looking at it, it looks like, I mean, you've seen enough of these Migos now to get the feeling that it looks like it probably would hold a Migo. The thing is, it's not like perfectly shaped like it, but you can see kind of like a soft, if you almost imagine like memory foam, right? It's like compressed a little bit, but it seems like it's come back a bit too. So you can see the area where something was clearly laying in it at one point. A person could fit in it, but you do see it's kind of an odd shape. So you would imagine that that this is some kind of an alien device. It wouldn't take much to figure that out. And inside, again, there's like 4 buttons. It looks like that if you were inside of it and you were to press, you could probably have access to the buttons because they're like inside the egg. On the outside of the egg, as you're kind of exploring it, there's no buttons. It's just perfectly smooth.
And there's no
And
tubes or wiring or anything hooked up to any of them?
Nope, it's just floating in the air.
If this is where these creatures rest or sleep or maybe transport themselves somehow, we need to definitely destroy these things then.
Yeah. I definitely think maybe it's how they got here. Maybe they come down in these.
I guess we can go to the ones that are closed one at a time, and maybe Enzo and Dougal being the strongest, maybe they can try to pry it open, and we'll stand there with our technology of these pistols and be ready to shoot it if there's one in there.
Yep. I think that's a good
Try
idea.
knocking.
Well, yes, we can try that first, but we have to be ready if something comes out.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
they have proven to be somewhat intelligent. So, shall we knock?
Sure.
Is that what you want to do? Okay. Yeah, I mean, would you want to go clockwise or counterclockwise? Or diagonal? Like which one do you want to explore?
We're on the northwest corner right now. I guess
Yeah,
just
you're in
go
the
to the
northwest
one
corner.
down at the bottom from it, I guess would be fine.
Okay, so counterclockwise. Okay. I'm just going to take a second to just, because you're going to go in all of them eventually. I'm just going to, note that. Get nervous when I hit the initiative thing. No,
Yes.
the reveal areas. So
Now
I'm
we
just
know
gonna
what you're
open it.
thinking.
Oh, they all open the same, so I'm just going to reveal them all because you'll get them all open eventually, I'm sure. Okay, so you go to the first one and you knock on it, and nothing seems to respond. As you're looking at it, though, now that you're close to it, from the doorway, it did seem like it was absolutely seamless and closed. But now, when you're close enough to knock at it, you can actually see there is a very, 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 very tiny seam that runs around it.
Can we try to pry it open, Dougal? Enzo, do you think?
We can try.
Always trying.
You can actually, you get your hand, like because you knocked on it, right? So then you take your hand and your dagger out, and you're gonna what? And then you kind of put your hand on it to balance yourself. And as soon as you kind of put your hand on it for a second, the egg feels a little bit warm, and then it just starts opening. So you're probably like, whoop, and it just kind of like by itself goes.
Oh.
And inside, it looks like the other one. There's no creature in there. It looks like this yellow, foamy, soft material. 4 buttons. Looks exactly the same as the other one.
I guess we go and check the next one. I'm sure one of them is going to hold something, I would think. But if not, we'll just come back and destroy them again.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you repeat the procedure. You're just gonna touch it. All right. Yeah. So you repeat the procedure on the next one. You touch it, and same thing. It opens up. Everybody's ready with their laser pistols, but this one as well is empty. And when you come to the one in the northeastern corner, when you put your hand on it, it does not open. Instead, you see a kind of like a rainbow of color kind of move its way up the egg. So it goes like if you imagine like the small part of the egg, it kind of goes like a rainbow of color. And then it goes back and it stops about 2/3 of the way up. And then like about 2/3 of the egg is still the silvery, metal, the titanium. And the other 2/3 is kind of this rainbow color kind of flashing. And then after about 10 seconds, it fades away.
Maybe this one is not ready yet.
Enzo will knock on it.
Okay. All right. You knock on it. Again, the knocking is not enough hand pressure to get the activation. So you wait a little bit, and nothing seems to react to the knock.
I'll jam my knife into the seam.
Okay. Yeah, you jam your knife into it, and again, when you put your hand on whatever it does that color thing, and you can feel like that. You jam the knife in, and you think that you could probably prise it open, but it will require some strength. This one's definitely like closed pretty solidly, so you would need to do a test of strength if you want to open it.
Can Enzo get on the other side and also try and pry it?
Sure. Yeah, if you do that, you guys can. Whoever has the most strength can do it, and they can have a +1, I guess, or a -1.
Sure, you're stronger than me, Enzo.
I have a 14.
Yeah, it's stronger than me.
Okay.
I succeeded.
You still
You
succeeded.
got it anyways. Yeah. Okay. Easy peasy. All right. So yeah, you jam the knife in. You start, pushing it up. It starts to open, and then Enzo gets in there and kind of gives you an extra little. And the thing, it does still open up slowly. Like once it pops past, like what it would imagine, maybe it's locked or something. It opens up, and you can see in there is a Amigo creature. It seems to be. It's not stirring. It doesn't move. It's just kind of laying there. You can see that it looks like it's probably injured. It's missing like parts of its outer carapace are like broken or burnt, and it looks like it's injured, pretty badly injured, but it doesn't seem to move. At least not immediately.
Brighild yells out, "The light does not shine for all of us," and she zaps it.
Okay. All right. It's it's just laying there. So I'll say that this automatically works. So you shoot it with the disintegrator pistol, and there's just some dust laying in the crabman, who you can't speak to, right? Is he seemed to be pretty curious with this when he came in when you were shooting it. He didn't really react though, except for to seem positive about the interaction. He basically when he saw there was a creature in there, he came full with his weapon, but when you shot it, he just kind of lowers his weapon It's
Maybe this is some type of healing mechanism from them, since that one appeared to be injured. Maybe their injured ones come here and are restored somehow with their technology or whatever. So I agree, Vanessa, we definitely need to destroy these pods.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
okay. Whoever's going to shoot one can make essentially you're making a saving throw for it. So if you roll 18 or better, it doesn't work. You have to do it again. Otherwise, you
Yeah,
can destroy it with one shot.
Brighiel will suggest that each of us go to the rooms we were in before. Like we each use our own pistol to shoot them at the same time, pretty much.
Good idea. Yep. Do it.
All right. So it's like a 1, 2, 3.
Oh man, what does it need to save?
It needs 18 or better. So it's
Ooh,
rolled 20.
I wrote a 17 almost.
Mine's
Oh,
saved.
okay. You're saved.
I rolled a 10, so mine did not.
Okay, so only the druids survived. Yeah, you shoot yours and it doesn't go anywhere, Dougal.
My pistol doesn't work.
Oh,
You
well,
you see that switch there, Dougal? You're supposed to push that switch up to make it sure it fires first.
No, it does. See?
Hmm.
Look, I'll fire it again.
There you
Oh,
go.
there's-
Yeah.
Oh, it's
The first
working
time,
now.
because it was a shiny egg, so the first time it like deflect. You hit it at exactly the right angle where it just deflected off. You guys look in the room and you can see there's a hole in the ceiling. But yeah, you have destroyed the pods. And let me see. That was enough for me. I should roll for. Okay. Again, your soldiers have not called any kind of an alarm that you've been discovered yet. So far you seem to be in the clear for the last half an hour or so as you guys have been exploring around and destroying these things.
well, I think that was good work we just did. I think those things were bad news.
Yes, and I say we remove the broken arrow shafts and maybe let the doors all close back, and when they come in there themselves, they will find a very unsuspecting surprise.
Yes. Disappointment.
Yes.
Such
If we understood what
bitter-
they were saying, we could tell them about omelets and eggs and having to break them and stuff. But
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Can't kill an ego without zapping a few eggs.
exactly. Yes. All right. I look at everyone and I say, there's nothing else, no other way out of this area except the way we came up through A9, right? Or down through A9.
That is correct. You don't see any other way out.
We'll have to go back to the balls with the holes in them.
Well, you could try your arrow there,
Yeah.
but let me just get the other side of like a door first or something, just in case.
Okay.
No, I'm just
So you want to go back up through A9, and then you want to get on the other side of the door before you try the thing? Is that the plan? Or I guess you can stay where you are.
yeah. I just kind of want to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna ping. I want to stand at the north hallway up here.
Yeah, I'll stand up there too. I'm just gonna be by the wall just in case he, I don't know, triggers something terrible.
Okay. For sure. All right. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you go around and probe these globes. You get a sense that when you stick the arrow in, unlike the doors where you push it in, there was clearly a button there that clicked. Here it kind of sits there, and you feel almost like there's something round inside, like a marble, and you feel like you can move it around with the arrow. But after a little bit of experimentation, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, at least not in here.
Nothing's happening. It's just moving marbles around in the bottom. I think you broke it.
Well, Maybe it's okay if it's broken. Then they can't use it either.
Right. Hmm. Okay.
Sorry, Dougal.
Doing this now. Here we go. All right. Yeah, you get join the rest of the party. And as I cleared it out a little bit here, you can see that looks like it opens up. There's just like a little alcove to the left, which would be the west. But to the east, it looks like it opens up into some kind of a chamber. And of course, if you go past that chamber, well, you'd see in it at that point. But you can see there's a room up there which you feel like you've seen before, but you've not been through.
Yeah, I
Okay,
guess
would you like
once
to
we
go?
get up the hallway, we'll look to the east and see what that reveals.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. So you kind of make your way up here, and kind of peek around the corner. And you can see that this room is got a large pool in it, 20-foot diameter basin at the back of this room. Effervesces slowly with a bright green spoon that illumes the area. Well, I like the word illumes. It illumes the area. Above each of the 4 square black crystal pedestals at the center of each wall floats a light blue crystalline sheet, each bearing some kind of a hieroglyph. So basically you've got, I don't see these things anywhere on the map, but it says there's 4 of them and there's 4 walls. So I'm guessing that we're going to put them like here, well, actually they're probably near each other. So here, 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 and here, right? You're basically looking at, like they're a little tall because remember the Migo are pretty tall. They're probably about maybe like 5 foot tall. There's like these square, so unlike the round ones with the balls on top, these are square, square shaped, but they're long. They're not cubes, they're square. So they're about 5 foot tall. They're pedestals, floating, seemingly, through magic or whatever. Above them, above each one is like what looks like kind of a sheet of paper, but it's like glowing and it has a rune on it, some unknown language. But you've seen this language here before, so you might imagine that it's the language of the Miko. Or, well, does anybody speak Hyperborean?
Nope.
Or Atlantean?
I don't know.
Echo is here.
I think Echo does, yeah. Yeah, you've seen Echo read Atlantean since he's been here. This doesn't look like Atlantean to you. And most of you are from Khromarium, where the Hyperboreans are. So you know that there was a connection with Atlanteans and Hyperboreans here. This doesn't look to be their language at all. So your best bet would be to guess that this could be from the Migo or something else foreign. Oh, and also
You said, I was just on, you said the pool of water is kind of a greenish color and it's clear.
yeah, and also I guess because I started to explain the pillars, I didn't finish. So yeah, the water is like greenish and it's almost like fuzzing, like somebody put like Pepto-Bismol in it. So it's like it is effervescing slowly. There's a green, it's kind of greenish and glowing, and also you've got these pedestals in the 4 corners with the light blue sheet. And in front of the pool, or the basin, basically, there is a kind of an area that's like a lower pedestal with like kind of a cutout that looks to be almost the exact same size as these sheets. So as if you could probably take a sheet and put it in there. Look like it would fit. But yes, the water's green. It's not very deep either. You can see the bottom. It's maybe like 2 feet
Yeah,
deep.
I want to drop that arrow shaft, that broken arrow shaft that I had from the doorway. I want to drop it into the water and see what happens.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. You drop it into the water. It kind of like it's like bouncing a little bit because of the bubbles and floating on the water. Kind of watching it ferment, see if anything seems to happen to it. It doesn't seem to be being dissolved, or the water doesn't seem to have changed its normal kind of effervescing. Although now that you're close to it, you can see that at the very bottom of the pool, there's like little tiny, probably like nozzles that are pushing up, some kind of gas or whatever into the water that's making it bubble.
And it just floats on down to the bottom finally, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shaft, right? So yeah, eventually it probably sinks down because it probably has it's weighted or whatever. Yeah.
Yep, that's all Brickhill does. She's just kind of mesmerized by watching that for a minute.
I look at Dougal, I look at the cutouts, I look at the pieces of paper, or what looks like sheets of paper, and I'll say, I think you might actually get something to fit somewhere this time. Do you think we should try it?
I think I should probably unmute. No, I was thinking that. This seems like a place to put things, right? So should I put the blue things in there, or what do you think?
You said the cutout looks like it could fit one of the sheets with the runes on it, right, Daniel?
That's correct. The rune sheets are really interesting because they're kind of like, they look like parchment or paper, and they're kind of floating, so you see them kind of like in the air, but they're clearly there. I mean, and it does look like the one of them would fit in there, but you'd have to walk up and grab it, and you'd walk across the room with it. It's not like right next to it.
Okay, so I look at Dougal and I say, I don't know, it could be bad, but it does look like they have a place here. And I don't know if it would be bad. I don't know if these are Migo things. They don't seem like the Migo technology, and the writing.
Tell you what, why don't you go stand by the door? You usually do, and I'll go put it in over here.
Well,
I'm not saying anything about that, but I'm just saying.
I'll come with you. I don't want
No,
you to get hurt.
I understand.
This druid seems to be on a quest for knowledge.
Well, whatever this is would make a good story.
Exactly. And one must be alive to report this story. So you go stand by the door and I will put this in.
Okay. Sure.
All right, so you walk back towards the door. The 7 spearmen are kind of hanging out there in the crabmen. Crabmen are kind of hard to read, so you can't really tell what they think of it, but they're not stopping you by any means. So what's the plan here?
I'm gonna look at Brighild and Enzo and say, do you want to go by the door too? Because I'm gonna stick this in that form on the bottom.
When you call Brickhill's name, she doesn't even acknowledge you. You see, she's leaned over the pool and she's actually going to lower, since her hair is grown out, she's actually going to let like an inch or two of her hair dip into the water to see what happens while this is going on. So she's pretty much ignoring Dougal.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually the water.
Enzo and just kind of shrug.
What's Enzo doing?
Enzo is just watching. He's not going to leave. He'll just watch what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, so you dip the ends of your hair into the water, and you can actually this because again it's like effervescing and stuff. It has a kind of a familiar smell, but you can't really place it. And it's actually kind of refreshing. It's kind of the air is blowing up on your face, and the water's kind of on you. And all right, so which sheet do you want to take? The northwest, northeast, southwest, or southeast?
North by northwest.
All right, always a good one. All right, so you reach up and you take it, and when you grab it, it actually stops wavering in the air, and you feel the weight of it, and it feels almost like it's not wet, but it feels heavy, like it's a piece of paper, but it thickness wise, but it feels almost like you're holding an entire book. So it's a little bit odd. Like you probably at first like whoa, but right. You've got this thing now in your hand. It's thin like paper with this rune that you can't quite make out if you've ever seen it before, and it's very heavy.
Some density to this.
Indeed.
I will lower it into the impression in the floor.
Okay. Yes, you go over to the impression and you put it down. Brighild's kind of fascinated by the water. And the barbarian is just standing back, watching. And Vanessa's standing back from further away. So, let's see. Go ahead and make yourself a transformation saving throw, modified by willpower, if you may.
Modified by willpower?
Yeah, so if you have a willpower bonus, you can use it for the transformation.
Oh, okay. I do. I have +1.
Nice.
Uh,
That.
well, that is a failure.
Oh, that is a failure. Okay. You will take some damage. So basically, well, let's just figure out all the mechanics first, and then we'll go there. You're going to take 20 points of damage. Oh, guacamole. And oh, nice. Okay. 264. Okay. This is right up your alley, Mike. Being a Call of Cthulhu guy. If that didn't kill you. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d20.
D20.
4.
4.
Okay. Fantastic. You will now start to see random hallucinations.
Oh no.
That should be fun.
Excellent.
Going to be good. However, your dexterity has been permanently improved by 1, up to 18. So hopefully you don't have an 18 dex. That would have been a waste.
Okay. So
And you somehow you know this because you've been imbued with the third circle, Advanced Energy Mastery. So your dex goes up by 1, and you if you concentrate, you can resist the effects, damage, and such of electrical, laser, or radium damage.
Ooh.
Yep. But obviously, so the way that'll work is if you want to do that, you'll just state that during your, because it's a concentration thing. So, just during your declaration of action. Like if you had like 10 guys shooting laser pistols at you, you could be like, I'm going to resist.
Okay, so it's
But it will be your action. What's that?
It's electrical, radio, and what action?
Electrical, laser, and radium.
Okay, radium and
Yeah,
laser.
radium.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
And lasers, which is pretty nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you took a little. So basically, you put this sheet on there, and all of a sudden, it's like your eyes like kind of glass over, and you just start seeing all this knowledge just being pumped into your brain. However, because Breakhild was nearby, and you were partially near the water, which is where it comes from, Tony, make a transformation saving throw as well.
All right. I'm going to kill you, Mike. Oh, I made it.
Okay. You will not take a random bout of madness. However, you will take half damage, so 10 points of damage as the water. Like,
all right.
But yeah, what happens to you is you start seeing all this stuff kind of like he did, and you just like fall forward in the water, and you start like, and you just like choke up, and you take a bit of damage that you pull yourself out of the water, and you will. Okay, let's do this. One of the 4 things you're going to get. So roll a d4, and we'll see. You'll either get the +1 or you'll get the. Yeah.
I had a 2.
Okay, so you may also resist electrical damage when you are concentrating.
Resist.
And this is permanent.
damage.
This is a permanent skill. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, if you decide that you're going to spend your thing concentrating on resisting it, you can resist electrical damage. So that could be very useful. And yeah, and unfortunately you've taken a little bit of damage. And you are now wet. Very wet because you fell into the water a little bit. So this all happens in like 2 seconds. Like you guys just see Briggle drop, Dougal kind of steps back, and on the platform there's just dust where the paper was.
Yeah, Brickiel jumps up out of the water, if her hair wet and her probably on her face too, and she goes, "Stay away from the water. The water's not what I thought it was. It's dangerous," because she's wasn't even paying attention to what Dougal was doing, so she thinks it's all the water.
Right.
I just got
Happened.
steam coming off my beard.
everybody okay? I will come back into the room. I'll go to
I'm
Brakehill.
fine.
I think maybe we shouldn't be messing with things that we don't know what they are.
But it was just a pool of water. I thought it was. I was
It
fixing to
is.
take a drink.
It was so much. There was just the letters and everything just pouring through my brain. It was awesome. Did you guys see that?
Oh, no letters? Like letters?
No. I mean, but I kind of knew them, but I didn't know them. And I mean, can't you see them? I can kind of see them now. I mean, as you talk, I can kind of see them coming, floating around you.
Oh, you can see my words?
Yes. I can hear colors.
Riccio looks at Dougal perplexed, and then she looks towards Vanessa like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
I'll look at Brickhill and I'll say, you put a paper, one of those rune papers, into the cutout, and now he sees words and hears colors.
And it's great. I feel wonderful.
Maybe that will help us read. Can you read any of these languages now?
Yes. No. I don't feel like. Let's go running. I feel like running.
No, no. We don't need
I
to
feel
run right
light
this
on
second.
my feet. Maybe we should dance. Can we dance?
Or just stay away from the water because it's not what it thought it was.
What happened?
I was going to put my hair into the water, and it was a very familiar scent, a pleasing scent, and I was going to scoop up some water to drink, and all of a sudden it just shocked me.
Really? That's strange.
It is.
Is the water talking to you, Dougal?
Just a little. But it's okay. It likes you.
Oh,
Her, not so much. You're okay. She tramped all over him. You got to be more careful when you throw yourself in water.
Brickield is going to walk up to where Enzo is and whisper in his ear and go, "You need to help me keep an eye on him. I think his mind has been altered."
Enzo nods.
Okay, let's try the next one.
no, I
Uh,
think
Yeah, I think we should stop messing with things when we don't know what they are or what they do.
Oh, I think we do know what they do.
I've
Yeah, but-
lost.
sorry, go ahead.
I've lost many who have messed with things that they shouldn't not mess with because they didn't know what it was or what it did.
Oh, but I know what these do. See?
Yes.
They change you.
They do, they change you. You've obviously changed, Dougal,
I am.
but I think we could have too much of a good thing, you don't want to overdo it. So,
Oh, now you're beginning to sound like my mother.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's which means I should probably try another one.
Brickield is going to walk out in the hallway with the crab man and their soldiers because she thinks Dougal's lost his mind.
Yeah, Enzo's
Okay.
gonna join Breakhill.
And so just tell Dougal, please let's just we have a job to do. Maybe we can come back and you can try another one after we've done what we came here to do.
That sounds good. We can
Okay.
always come back.
It's right, we can always come back. I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yes,
We can come back.
we can.
I get to try first though.
Yes, you
They're
do.
All
Yes.
mine. I'm gonna
Okay.
claim them. That one's mine. That one's mine. That one's mine.
Vanessa will just say, you can have them all, I promise.
Thank you.
Let's just, yeah. Yeah, and I'll kind of try to lead him out of there.
Okay. Yeah, you guys move back into the hallway. And once again, it's been pretty quiet here. You haven't encountered too many ever since the major attack, which is probably now at this point like close to an hour ago. Um, you haven't seen hide and hair of anything except for the one Migo that was very injured. So yeah, it's pretty quiet up here as you move up into the corridor above. You probably remember because you Vanessa does anyways, and I guess Brighill, she was here as well. I don't think the other two were. Maybe Dougal was. I can't remember. I can't remember which characters we had. But over here, you would remember this is the room actually where Brighill was disintegrated. So you know that, and so you
Yeah,
know you're
once
never
I
gonna forget
can say,
that. Yeah.
if we get up to that area, you see Brighild, she just freezes up and just starts shaking, and she goes, we can't go in there. No, no, no. We were not going in that room. No.
No, we're not going to go in that room. We just need to pass by it. But I promise you, you will never have to go back in there again.
We're going north, and so we'll pull the men up to here.
Okay. Did you want to? So if you went off to the west, you do see that the corridor ends and there's a couple of doors north and south. Or as mentioned, if you want to just pass by that room that you were in at one point, you could head to the east because you do know that there's a corridor heading north that you never really fully explored.
I'll look at Brighild.
Let's check these doors back to the west. Let's get away from this area here.
Okay. West it is.
So these two look very similar to what you've seen before. They have that puzzle look, and they have the holes next to them.
But we know what to do now.
Both. I could do that.
North or south?
I'll go to the north.
Okay, nice. All right, so you stick the little arrow shaft key, as it would be, into the door, and it's a strange shaped room. Again, like most rooms, it has all those crystalline structures all over them. However, this one's a little different. You open this door, and you feel a breeze immediately hit you. And you see kind of near the back of the room, but kind of center in the back of the room, you see what is a 8-foot diameter circle on the ground that is essentially a ring of would seem to be, from the distance that you're looking at it, to be emeralds. Very large emeralds, the size of like an acorn. A lot of them. They're kind of spread out in a large circle. And then in the circle in between, you see this whipping wind. It almost looks like a tornado going around in there. And let me just do a quick. This monster is a new monster.
Is the wind, I mean, is it like the tornado or whatever? Is it like above these emeralds or like before you get to the emeralds?
The emeralds are in a circle, and it is inside the circle, floating above it.
Okay.
It is okay. It's a whirlwind. It's inverted cone about 6 feet wide at the top, 2 feet at the bottom. So it's like a classic like. But interestingly enough, every few seconds, grotesque, angry human faces appear and disappear in the currents of the wind, and they, they're like. You can just hear the wind. It's basically this is a tornado, and you just see these faces kind of in it. It seems to be inside the circle of the emeralds, and there are quite a few emeralds here, and they are big.
Brighild is going to yell out at Dougal and Enzo especially and go, do not touch those emeralds. Do not remove them. There may be some kind of protection wall that is keeping that. I think that is some kind of creature inside. If we remove those emeralds, that thing could come after us.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
okay.
thinking the same thing. I definitely don't want to mess with that.
Looks like it's in pain.
It
Let's
doesn't
just
raise
shut the
pain.
door and pretend we didn't see it.
You don't want to help it?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna pull the door shut.
Yeah.
Okay. Door shuts, and then, the last of the little bit of wind comes by, and you hear.
I open it again.
The wind comes out again, and you see it circling around. The faces emerge. They kind of spin in
Close.
the
I know. I think Brickhill might be right. I think not messing with that might be the best idea.
Yeah, they don't seem to be moving forward. Like, I mean, if you open and close the door a few
Okay.
times, it's not like they come at you. It's Brickhill's assessment is probably pretty accurate, especially as a warlock. That they're being held inside the.
Right.
I mean, we don't know if they're being held inside as a prisoner or being held inside, to protect others from them. But I don't know. We don't have to save everyone, I guess.
Agreed.
Let's check the south.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you turn around. Leaving the souls. They're whipping tornadoes, screams, and you push the button and it opens up to basically a mirror image of the room as far as the shape of it. Let's get the reveal up here. There we go. Looks the same. 5-foot wide, 20-foot tall obelisk of smooth, glossy, blood red material stretches up from the center of this room, almost to the ceiling. As you're kind of staring at it, occasionally the surface seems to swirl, almost like there's shifting sand inside of it. Otherwise, the room is empty. It's a little cold in here compared to the rest of the lair, but otherwise it's
I say this is another thing we don't mess with.
So are these prison cells?
Maybe.
Possibly. You said it's a blood red obelisk?
yeah, 5-foot wide, 20-foot tall obelisk of smooth, glossy, blood red material.
Huh.
Versus everything else in the place that's been black. So
It's in
definitely
black,
stands
yeah.
out.
That's
Yes, and
interesting.
I don't know about you, but it feels the temperature in here has dropped tremendously. That to me is a sign of that dreaded necromancy type stuff. I say this is evil and bad. I agree. We do not mess with it.
I bow to your wisdom, Brickhill the Wise. I won't mess with it.
And then she looks towards Dougal, expecting him to run straight towards it.
Dougal, you see actually on the everybody, you guys can kind of see it looks like there's almost shifting sands inside. And as they're talking, you actually see something, which I will tell you right now. I'll send it to you in a private message because that's how I like to cause trouble. Yeah.
Oh. Oh. I approach the obelisk.
That's okay. Yeah. So Dougal starts to approach the obelisk, kind of staring at it. The rest of you are like, no. So exactly what Brickhill predicted happens. You feel it gets colder and colder as you approach, and you get this sense that you should go deeper in the structure. That somewhere deeper in the structure is something that you need, but it's hard to feel exactly what it is. In addition to that,
my hand.
oh, nice. Okay. All right, right, because you were hurt earlier, right? You just got hurt. You actually heal
Yeah.
12 hit points.
Well, this is a good thing.
It's very, very cold, but you feel your body like tense up and the wounds start to heal.
It's refreshing. Oh, you should try this. This is really good for you. Can you hear it? It's the humming. It's the red. It kind of hums. This pleasant humming. It's almost like it's singing.
Well,
Can we hear a humming noise from it?
I push my hand out towards the obelisk.
Okay. When you touch it, the words disappear, and you just feel the coolness of it.
Is it hard?
Yeah, hard stone.
I
You
nod.
still get that like sense that like there's something deeper that that should be brought here.
Right.
well, not everything in this place. I mean, we did find that one room that healed me.
Right. And this could be very helpful. I'm guessing this could be a very powerful ally.
Really?
Yes. I put my arms around it and give it a big hug.
It's chilly, but you can do that.
I lean my ear to it. Can I hear anything coming from it besides this humming that I hear?
No, just the humming, and it's almost as if whatever presence that you thought you had sensed there is has either left temporarily or did what it needed to do, or
I look
feel a little
back
bit of an
at it.
emptiness.
You've spoiled it. You've come in here and you spoiled it. You should have stayed outside. See, I was having this moment with it, and then you had to come in here.
And so looks at Brighild and just gives her like a look and kind of shakes his head a little bit.
Oh, Dougal, you're just saying that to all of us as like a general statement?
Yes. It's okay. I'm sure the prince is forgiving, just as I know he will be. But let's just carry on with our crusade.
Yeah, Brickyard looks towards Enzo, kind of like, I told you he was losing his mind.
Now Enzo nods.
This place is
Okay.
starting to. Yeah, let's try to finish this
We're coming back for this, right?
if
Yes,
you'd
yes,
like.
just for you.
Yeah, this one's mine too. The 3 blue stones are mine, and this one's mine too.
Okay, Dougal.
Just let me put my name on it. Get a charcoal pencil out.
No, we know that it's yours, and I don't think the Migo are going to care. Let's just
Okay. I just want everyone to know. Because
All yours, Dougal.
clearly you don't honor and respect this as I do.
Well, I didn't have the same experience of it that you did, but I won't hurt it or anything. We just need to keep going.
Yes, let's keep going. Deeper. We have to go
Yeah.
deeper. We should be going down. I think we should be going down
We've
deeper.
already been down.
No, there's got to be a further down.
Yeah,
Well,
Brickyard is going to look towards Vanessa and Enzo like we should do the opposite of what he's saying, that he's lost his mind.
No, there's got to be a deeper down someplace.
well,
I'm sure of it. The gods have spoken.
it's possible, Dougal. But for now, we have north, and we have I don't think we've been down to that little southern area either, through A3.
That's
Yes.
correct. You're not.
So since we're up here, and I just kind of take Rig Hill, like, let's just go past it. We could go up. We could go north. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Yep, that'll
Now-
be fine. Because she's watching Dougal anyway and what he's doing.
Okay, good. At least she's Panesta thinks. At least she's distracted from the room. So
Right. Yeah, you're able to move past it pretty quickly. The door's closed. Past those couple of alcoves and into A17, where, if you remember, there's basically a floating globe of blackness. And you're gonna come.
Yeah, Enzo's gonna move the men if he can to A17. And when he sees that
Okay.
globe, he's gonna tell everyone, don't touch that.
Yeah, they're a little freaked out to be there. If you want them to stay there, you're going to need to do like a test of charisma, because they do not want to be there. That thing is freaking them out.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. That thing freaks me out as well. But I'll do a test of charisma. I have a +1 react.
Just roll like a d6, like how they do tests of other things.
Okay.
So
No,
whatever you
they are not gonna stay there for me.
Yeah. They decide that that thing freaks them out. But of course they also don't know nowhere else to go because the other weird stuff is freaking them out. So they just back up, and they're going to stay basically in those alcoves a little bit further away. They say, "We'll come when you need us. We'll stay here to guard," and they stay back. They stay like back here.
I don't blame you.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys, I just cleared, so it's easier. So you as you, and also I guess you would see this too. So you can see that this hallway seems to have 3 different 4 alcoves off to the west, and then also there's, because remember this whole place is lit with that purpley light, so you guys can see. And then to the east, you've got essentially 4 hallways, only 3 of which you can really see from where you're at, I guess. As far as how deeply they go in, and you can see that they ended doorways. So if you want to choose one. Oh, and also there's a hallway to the east as well.
I say we just kind of look at the first doorway. I mean,
Okay.
we have to look.
One at a time, systematically. Makes sense. I did not want to assume, so. All right, so you approach the first door, and it's same deal. Shaft will open it if that's what you're choosing to do. I'm making that assumption unless you told me something different. Okay, so yeah, you open this one up. So 2 cylindrical tanks of clear crystal, each 3-foot diameter, and filled with a reddish-brown liquid stretched from the floor to the 12-foot ceiling in the center of this room. Before each tank stands a slim metal pedestal supporting a black glass sphere of 1 foot diameter. That looks familiar, right? The sphere has 3 holes in it across the upper surface. Inside each tank, a man bobs gently, suspended in the liquid. Black tubes originating from the men's eyes, ears, nose, and mouths, and terminate above where the tanks meet the ceiling. You've encountered enough of these guys before to recognize them as the Copper Un. They seem to be completely, unaware. They're just in this tank with these things on their face, kind of going up to tubes in the ceiling. They're just like floating in the water. Nothing seems to, they don't react at all to you opening the door. They're just kind of floating in there.
Well, this needs to go.
Well, let me see the shafts first. We got 3 holes here. What could go wrong?
Whether we could wake them up and they could come at us.
From where? From out of the tubes?
Yeah, out of the goop.
But look at them. They don't possess any weapons right now.
Hey, Daniel, the way you described them, do they, you said they were kind of more man looking. So does it look
Yep.
like they're maybe being, I don't know, like in the process of being transformed right now or something, or?
Yeah, like they look like people. I mean, they definitely have I mean, they're in colored water that's like coppery colored, but you would imagine that they look similar. And like the other ones, they don't have any organs, any sex organs or anything. They're just kind of like, but they look fully formed, except for the fact that their faces are attached to a machine. They look like full formed men.
I agree with you, Panista. I don't know what they're going through right now, transformation or whatever, but I agree that we don't need to, we need to end them.
Yep.
We
Really?
need to
You're
be
not
careful
curious as
because-
to what would happen if we stuck these things in?
Well, of
Whatever,
course I'm.
however we do it, we need to be careful though, because that liquid, we don't want that liquid getting on any of us if it breaks. And
So you can do it, Dougal, and of course, we'll have the pistols ready, I guess. But if they start emptying the tanks and that liquid comes out, I mean, it's like not a good idea to touch that because obviously it does something. So,
Right. So you guys go stand by the door. Go ahead.
Enzo will gladly stand outside the door.
I will
Okay,
put
yeah.
3 shafts in each one of the holes.
Okay, you're gonna fill each of the holes. Okay.
Yep.
So there, you've got from left to right. We'll just call them the most leftmost one, the center, and then the rightmost one. Do you want to do them all at the same time, or are you gonna press one at a time, or how you want to?
Yeah, I'll press them all at the same time.
Interesting. So you go, and in front of one of them, and you hear like a hissing sound, and it seems like the glass tube starts to come down from the ceiling, like separates from the ceiling. But at the exact same time, the water is also draining. So like the tube and the water are going down kind of at the same time. So none of it's getting up. It's like right at the tip. And it's lowering, and the person that's in there, they're wiggling, like they start flopping around. So there
Oh,
is
they're
some water
waking up.
splashing and stuff. Yeah, just the one, because there's 2 of them. Remember this, and it starts flapping all around, and some of this copper liquid is splashing around. I mean, since you were wary of it, I'm not going to make you save or anything. You're able to step out of the way so you don't get wet. But yeah, you can see that in probably like 3 or 4 seconds. I mean, unless somebody wants to do something else, basically this thing's going to go into the ground, and this guy will be hanging here by his mouth, nose, and eyes in the ceiling.
well, we know what it does.
See?
Yeah.
That
So
was simple, wasn't it?
yeah. The ground gets a little bit wet, like it spills over. You can actually see that where the tube was. Now that you can see it, there's actually a grate in the floor of would have been the floor of the tube when the tube was there. So you could surmise that with some combination you could drain the water first. But in any case, he's like up there like laughing around. You guys are like, well, we see what it does. And the guy's up there by his face being held.
It's like a fish on the line.
I don't know if we need to
What?
disintegrate him or if we could just probably just take him out.
Enzo will walk up and like stab him through the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. You stab him, and then you just he's just hanging there. And after a few seconds, like the tubes that were in his eyes and mouth and stuff eventually rip out because of the weight, and he falls on the ground, splattered with his face kind of torn up.
Oh
at least you
boy.
gave them mercy, and so
How do I
The other
do
one's
next
happily
step?
sleeping in the other tank next door.
Is there like a thing in front of him too, or
Yeah,
is
there's
it
2
one
tanks and 2.
controller?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
So do you want me to do the same thing?
Well, it was effective, I suppose.
Or should I
Yeah,
just
just
try something else.
Well, I say do the same thing, Dougal. You're making this good decision.
Okay.
Yep.
Click, all three.
Okay. Yeah. All the same thing happens. Like it's dropping, but the water's also draining at the same time. So it's some splashes on the floor. It makes a little bit of a mess. But again, you guys are aware of it, so it's easy enough for you to step back. And then of course that guy's flopping around like a fish, and I guess Enzo runs him through, and he eventually falls to the ground with his face torn off. So now you've got two of these tubes that have recessed into the ground. You got the two panels that clearly control it, the little globes. You've got two dead copper oons with their faces ripped off. And the floor is kind of wet in here, but otherwise the room is pretty empty. It just kind of got that same crystalline, porcupine kind of design on all the walls, but otherwise it's empty save for the stuff that you just interacted with.
Well, I think we did a good thing again. I think we're doing good things. I hope.
Yes.
Shall we keep going?
As long as it's going deeper.
Well, we're certainly
Cool.
moving deeper into the story metaphorically, Dougal.
Yes.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Yes, the prince demands it.
Yes, be
Prince.
sure to let us know if the prince gives you further instructions.
I am the prince. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, that's okay. I spoke out of turn.
I feel some serious eye rolling going on here as you say you're the prince, but yeah, you pop up into room 19, which is similar, except in this, the two men in there have no arms or legs, and only have part of their torso form. So it's just like a head with the things coming out, and then like part of a torso, and you can see like just the beginnings of shoulders and stuff, but they're kind of like just partial men. Yeah.
I say we just take him out. I mean, we just end it now.
Yes, this is awful.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, you know how to work it, so you do that again.
Yep.
And I'm just going to move to the third one. Another room shaped the same way, as you might imagine. As you might imagine, there's tanks in here. This one, though, again, it's like you're progressing, right? So this one is the real. So sorry. This one in the tank, there's literally just where those tubes are. There's like a blob, not even a fully formed head. It's almost just like a blob of flesh in each of the tanks.
Yep. Same. I say we do the same. I mean, everybody's in agreement. That's awful.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, you clear this room, and then you move up, and you can see this hallway slightly longer, so it was a little harder to see. That's why I didn't clear it off. But once again, you got a door. Now you've also, oh, by the way, you also walked past this, so I guess you would have seen that there's a very long corridor this way with multiple breaks.
Oh,
So you've got a few different areas you haven't covered.
And I say we keep going to these rooms. It's evidently all these are some type of processing rooms. We just keep going until they end.
agreed.
Yes, as long as it goes deeper.
Okay, so you move up to this room.
We're not going deeper, are we?
But this one has a door, you say? It's a
Yeah, it's got the same. It's got. They've all had doors, just kind of the same kind of door. I'm sorry. Yeah, they all have doors. I haven't been repeating it because of the same kind of doors. So every door that you encounter in this place is that same puzzle shape with the holes. And since you know how to get through them, I just push it through them. So sorry, I didn't explain that. This one opens up into a different kind of room. There's a waterfall in here. Crashing water pours down from overhead. Dougal, you get a sense of like a purity coming from the water, and it disappears into the darkness. So essentially, it's basically a room that's more or less empty with just this water just pouring through from the top and going into the bottom. But you get like a sense of kind of a purity from the water.
I test the water. Is this like the water from the lake above?
Yeah, yeah, you can quickly identify it because you swam in it and drank it and everything. It's definitely the same water.
I drink heartily from it.
Nice. It is good.
It is good. This is very good water.
Yeah, isn't that the underwater breathing water?
Yes.
Yeah, let's get some more of that.
And this will allow us to go deeper.
It might.
It does go through the
Oh.
floor.
It will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
we'll-
This
Look,
will
you gotta
bring
drink
us
this
to
water?
places we have not gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I would drink it because you never know.
Yeah, like before, if you drink some of the water, you will be able to breathe underwater. I believe it's for 24 hours. So if everybody drinks the water, they'll be able to do it. And of course, the soldiers have followed you up now. They've been disgusted by the grossness, but now you're not near that ball anymore. They would also drink it because it looks like it's clean if you allow them to. The crabmen do not drink the water. The crabman does not drink the water. He has no interest in
I
it.
was just
But,
about to
yeah.
ask if he wanted any.
Yeah, if the crab man doesn't drink the water, Enzo won't either.
Okay.
Brickiel does, but she's pretty hesitant after the experience she just had. Plus, also she thinks Dougal has lost his mind, so she's not sure if it's the
Right.
enchanted lake water or not. But yeah, she'll actually drink it eventually before we leave.
Okay. Yeah, and when you taste it, it is clean and clear water. I mean, not being a druid, you wouldn't know exactly if it's the same water, but you definitely feel. I mean, once you drink it, you realize that you have that. You can sense inside yourself that you would be able to breathe underwater. So, if it's not the same water, it's similar.
I think we should go down from here.
Well, we should at least go up and see where this hallway leads. That goes back to the east. We don't want to have something come up behind us, our prince.
Yeah.
Right.
You could try, just as a note, you could try to climb down where the waterfall is. I mean, it's not like it's just a hole in the ground, but it looks very dangerous. So it's not impossible, but it will be dangerous to climb down that way. So, which way did you want to go?
I would definitely go up to that north corner and look, at least look around there to see what we can see. Maybe at least that much.
Yep.
Looks like it goes down, and you've got like a passage to the north, passage to the south.
Well, we
So-
could continue this way, and that passage to the south may lead back to that other passageway we just went by.
More
Yeah,
than
so
likely.
we keep going.
Awesome. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
So you guys continue to move through, and you pass by this area here. It seems deserted. It's just an empty chamber. It looks like there was probably something there at some point when the Hyperboreans ran this place, but now it's been overgrown by those crystals. And sure enough, when you come and you look down here, you can pretty much surmise that this is connected. There is a tunnel off to the east, though, that you'll pass by as you're heading down, and you see that there's a door there. Just check to see what this door is. Yeah, it's like a regular door, just like all the other doors you've seen before.
Say we check it, don't leave it behind us.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Let's go make sure there's nothing else in the hallways first.
Okay, you want to go down and check the hallway while Brickhill does that, or you're gonna?
Oh, I thought
There's
that's
all of
what Brighild was saying.
Oh no, this I'll ping it that door right there.
All right.
You're gonna stay together? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. You press the button and the door opens up. This is a half-finished chamber. So there's rough stone behind it, and the most obvious thing in here is that when you open the door, there are two very large severed crab claws lying discarded on the floor, with oozing putrid brownish ichor, and you see it gleaming against the wall, a severely wounded crabman owner. So severely wounded, as in he's missing his arms. So clearly, the crabman runs up to them. Looks like they're quite injured. You do notice immediately, because you guys have been on top of this, that there's no buttons to open this door from the inside. So, but you got your shafts in there holding it open. You got your SOP, so you're not going to worry about that. But yeah, this crabman looks severely injured. And the other crabman seems intent on taking them out of here. The other crabman scoops up the legs, and kind of like gets the other crabman to help him. Well, if you guys want to look around, it clearly this was probably some kind of a prison. You can see that there are some remains of humans here, but strangely, maybe not strangely, you can see that all of the human remains, there's no skulls or heads on them. So there's some bodies here. They're missing the heads, and there's some skeletons, and it's missing the skulls.
Well, we know they put brains in jars and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I believe that was put forth to you.
We know they were after Basil's brain,
That is correct.
so
Does this one look like he's like badly injured enough that, I mean, his companions going to have to leave with him, or they're going to at least going to try to hang with us?
You get the sense that the companion wants to leave with him. He's very bad. I mean, he's basically his arm ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fine. I mean, I know we can't speak to him, but I mean, that'd be fine by Brickyard if he wants to take his companion back.
He actually will do that. Let me just see. Yeah, he goes back the same way that you guys came, because that's the way that he knows. So yeah, he'll stay with you till you get back to those corridors, and he'll split off. So his plan is to go back the way you guys came, which, if you remember, was, I can do my little thing. It's like, down through A17, and then probably, I guess, A2 is where that room is where the stairs are going down. So that's where he's going to go. But he'll stay with you for now. If as you're moving back towards, I'm assuming you're going to move forward. Let me just, I should get lucky tonight. So basically, just to speed it up a little bit, this, I kind of roll around and watch, nothing happens. You guys kind of look down. These are all just unused passageways here, and here, and here. So you feel like you've kind of come through and cleared out all these corridors. You haven't seen any Miko patrols, interestingly enough. And you end up back, over here in this area, somewhere wherever you want to be, near A17. And that's where the crab band will leave you to do whatever you're going to do.
Well, let's
I mean,
go
I
to.
guess-
Oh,
I'll go ahead,
Go
Crystal.
deeper.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I think we should continue south then, and let the crabman go down, unless you guys want to lead him back.
Well, I was going to say, I wouldn't mind, we could probably, go part of the way back with him until we, he veers off another way or whatever, go back.
Yeah. He's basically going to go, if you go down into room A2, so you're in A17 now. If you go down to A2, there's a spiral staircase. That's how he goes down. Right there, exactly. So, yeah, that's as far as, then he just goes down.
I guess then we'll go our way from there, I guess.
Okay. All right, so, assuming that you want to go where you haven't been before,
You talking about
head
that
down.
here, Crystal? Is that where you're talking about? Like down
Yeah.
below A3?
Yeah, down below A3.
yep.
All right, excellent. All right, yes, you head down past A3, and this is another corridor that's unused here. I really have you guys roll one and monster shooter better at than I am. That's empty basically. You head down this way, and you see this basically. It's another. This is stuff. All these corridors are just ending. These like points are essentially just all these crystals have just grown and like closed the corridor shut. So maybe there was something there at some point, or but it was virtually impassable unless you want to like start smashing the crystals and stuff. So it could be something you could explore at some point, but probably not on the mission that you're on right now. And what you see down here is that you've got a passageway going down that would split off to the west, but also it splits off to the east before that. I'm just keeping to move. I'm just moving you until you tell me to stop. So when you come down to this area, you see a room revealed. 5. Okay. Basically, what you see here is there's a 2-foot diameter puddle of reddish brown metallic sludge. It looks like it is dripping very slowly from the ceiling, and the room itself is very cold. So it's not quite a frozen puddle, but it's kind of like very, very chilled. And it's almost like oozy jello kind of in the middle of the room. And you look up and you can kind of see just very slowly, dripping down at them.
We don't need to go in there. Even you, Dougal.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, that just seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, you know that this liquid copper is dripping everywhere, and you would imagine it has something to do with that. It is valuable, but it's also very, very hazardous. So yeah, you you head down to the end here, and you're looking down into a corridor, and you can see that as soon as you come around the corner, you kind of look down, and you can see that there seems to be a very large pile of bodies in that room A6.
Bodies?
They look to be human, except they've got very particularly orangey skin, so they look like the orange, the copper people you've been facing. They are nude, and they are stacked up. There's a whole bunch of them.
We don't need to investigate that anymore either.
Agreed. Probably failed experiments or something.
Yeah. But now, where do we go?
Down?
I will say that you know something that you're not going to want to investigate probably, but you do know that there were some corridors that went off that room where Brickhill was disintegrated. That are unexplored. And of course, there's stuff below too that you haven't explored. But you are as high as you can go because you know that this room, you guys have pretty much mapped this out. You've got, you know that when you came in the first time, you came in from over here at A2.
Yeah, I mean, if Vanessa and them suggest that to Brickyard, I think I can make it as long as we can just make a decision before we go in that room, which way we're going, and we'll just rush through there. I'll be okay once we get past it.
Are you sure? I don't want to hurt you any more than you've already been hurt.
And I'll be fine with you. Just let's just don't dilly dally around there.
We won't. We'll go in and looks like there's a door there on the east wall or something.
Yeah, there were 2 doors. You would remember there's a door on the east and west door across from each other. So you got 2 doors in there that you could.
Yeah.
Assuming nothing's changed, of course.
Right.
You do remember that there was the room had a whole bunch of tables in it and a bunch of equipment and such.
We're gonna go right past those, right past all the places. We're just gonna go right to is the east okay with everybody?
Fine
Yes.
by me.
Okay, let's go. Let's just do it fast. I'm gonna be right
Okay.
next to Brickhill the whole time.
All right. Yeah, you definitely move up there and you head up to this room. Which way did you say we're going to go?
East.
All right, yes, you come into this room. It does look like, I mean, you don't take a lot of time to check it, so I'm not going to give you a whole lot of information. It doesn't look exactly like the way you left it. I mean, clearly they have been using this room since then. It's been a while, actually. But, you rush right through it, so you do see some other bodies kind of spread out on these tables with the various instruments kind of sticking out of them and, dissected and so on. But you rush right past it. And you know how to get to these doors now, so you quickly open up this door to the east and kind of move yourself through. So you just got to charge through because you're kind of in a rush, and you kind of come around, it's kind of about on the corner, and what you see in here. Okay. All right, so you rush around the corner into this room, expecting anything could happen, but you're probably not surprising anything because you're rushing, through the thing. In this room, there is a 10-foot wide, 15-foot tall, transparent green prism. It's hovering in the air, and inside it floats an amorphous yellow blob, roughly 8 foot in diameter. It's slowly changing shapes. So it's like a, what do you call it? Like a lava lamp, right? So it starts to project shapes, like inside the prism. You see shapes and glyphs being formed. Do you have the read magic ability, Bridget?
Nope, I don't have that.
Yeah, you can't read scrolls and stuff, right? Can you read scrolls and stuff? Do you have read magic?
No, I do not.
I have read
Oh.
scrolls.
You do.
Yes.
But it says. All right, that's
Nobody believes me.
no, because you're not a magic user. That's why I wasn't sure, because it says magic user, but it's fine. That's good enough.
Oh, well, I do
Right.
have, I can now read scrolls 3 and 12.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I don't have my book with me, but I think I have it's the same as the deal. I don't have the actual spell, but I think I have the ability. Like,
Yeah, it's not a spell. It's like just because magicians can just do it in this. But you're a fighter subclass, right? Are you? I'll do this one.
yeah, warlock. Yep.
I love the book, but it's faster to find stuff in the PDF. Let's do a quick check to see who might
Well,
see
yeah,
this.
maybe Dougal or Vanessa maybe
Yeah.
would have a better chance than me if they're.
Yeah, I forgot that levels. I have 3 and 12 now of read scrolls, but I don't have
No,
any kind of read
no.
magic.
No, Tony, you have it naturally as part of your character class.
Okay.
Yeah, it's read magic. The ability. You're a warlock, right? It's not a
Yep.
spell. It's like an ability that you have. So yeah, you can do it. So I think you and you said Dougal, you think you have it as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so you two guys immediately can see that these shapes being formed are like kind of magical glyphs, and they are spelling out or saying the following phrase: "Help, free me."
And it's being like projected in common language or whatever, I guess.
No, it's clearly some kind of a
Magic
magical,
writing?
magical writing. So you would know with that ability that if anybody's writing in this way, it's somebody who is some kind of a magician, and it's not like the Migo language. It's definitely like a people language, but a language of magic.
Yeah, she'll look towards Dougal first, probably seeing, he recognizes it at the same time, and then say to Panesta and Enzo, this is something different. It is that projection it is putting up is coming from some type of magic using creature, and I don't think it's the Migo. I think it's more of a human type. I wonder if they have something trapped in there or something. Maybe I don't know how we would free it. We can't shoot it with the laser pistol, of course, but
Oh,
It's you, my liege.
I think we should definitely try to free it. Let's see. What we
Enzo,
can-
do you have like a hand axe also?
Not anymore. I had one, but it got stuck in one of those creatures, and then that creature got zapped.
Okay, well,
I mean, I could try to boomerang it. The boomerang is magic.
yes,
It
you
might
may
break-
could try that. We just don't want to use anything too forceful in case it would damage if it does turn back into a human form or something.
True.
The boomerang might be the best choice. So I was thinking maybe trying to hack at the edges of that prism, but maybe the boomerang would be best to try it.
If we could at least crack it, maybe then we could figure something out from there.
I have a sling. I could sling a stone at it.
Maybe you two should do that then, and let's try that first.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Yeah. So you would you sling the stone at it, Enzo, and it's like the stone just hits it. It's almost like it's like repelled by it. It just like immediately like it like hits it, but it doesn't even make like a clacking sound. It almost goes like it just kind of like repels off of it. However, the boomerang being magical, go ahead and roll d20. So this thing
Okay.
gets a saving throw.
All right.
It gets a +2 bonus, so you got to get below a 16.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, good, because you want it to fail the saving, so which is so weird. Normally we're the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, so you whip this thing, at you try not to target the blob in the middle, I'm guessing, and you throw it
Yes.
like at one of the edges of the prism, and it hits it, and like for a second it comes back to you, and for a second it's all kind of quiet, and then you just hear like, and the all the emerald glass just like shatters and falls to the ground around, and the blob is still floating there in the air. And then you see like it's kind of like shifting and forming almost like a lava lamp, but kind of like a blob. And you see shifting like in indentations, almost like relief across its form. You see like letters forming, and at first they're kind of these magical letters and then other strangeness, and then you see that it starts to spell out in the common tongue. It says, "Thank you. The Migo trapped me here when I tried to stop their terrible plans. We must destroy them. They're everywhere. I am Vanch Ane."
Bunch
Where-
Ane.
Where are you from?
So Vanch is I'm putting the spelling of the thing. It tells you that he is a sorcerer. And originally he was from Khromarium, but has been what do you call it? Working in the Underborough, Underborea rather. He says that he has done much wrong in his life and was planning to come to this place because he had heard of the reactor that takes the power of the lightning, so that he could gain much power for himself. However, he was attacked by the Migo, and in exchange for his life, they made a pact to come here and take control of the reactor together. You can see he's a little bit hesitant to tell you all this, obviously, because he's not exactly a good guy. But he says that what he found was, in the history of this reactor, was that when it was first placed here, built here by the Atlanteans, there was a sect that didn't like the Hyperboreans, and they didn't want to give this power to the Hyperboreans, so they planned to have this lightning reactor built upon this island, Crystal Point, which is actually the resting place of a sleeping god of the crabmen, hoping that the power from the lightning reactor would wake the god. Once he got here, they started working together to work on systems to capture and control things so they could keep the god asleep. At least that was the plan. But he found that the Migo were in fact trying to wake the god up and instead drain its power. He fears that if the Migo are able to do this, they will be unstoppable, and they will wipe out all of Hyperborea, which of course he doesn't want. He wants to. Bond's just like, hey, I wanted to control Hyperborea, not destroy it, but the Migo want to destroy it. Now they've taken from me, using the technology that I helped them develop, they've taken my body, and I'm just this blob, and you see it kind of forming, and the words are, as the story's being spelled out across his body, and the various big letters and small letters, and it's all kind of funky. He tells you that because of the god awakening, the crabmen have come now and have been fighting with the Migo. But the crabmen also want the god to awaken, and if the crab god awakens, it will likely destroy Hyperborea, or at least destroy men. However, it is sitting on a whole lot of treasure. But what is treasure now? Yeah, I'm just a blob.
You have no power to turn yourself back into a human form.
Not here. If I was taken back to Khromarium, I might be able to work it out. But I do have some spells, and I can assist you, and I can move through the air, and you can see that he moves around a little bit. He's kind of like this blob, like he's got some spells, not a whole lot, but he knows information, which of course he just gave you most of it. I will say this, so I guess the most likely person to know this would be Tony. I'll give you a 1 and 6, and Nikki, I'll give you a 3 and 6 to know like if some of the stuff lines up with things you know.
Nope, I rolled a 6.
How about the bard?
I rolled 5.
Yeah, you're not sure. You haven't heard any of this stuff. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's definitely, you haven't heard any stories about this giant crab god or about this sorcerer.
Yeah, I mean, Brickhill will look towards the rest of them like, we could probably use his help, but, we probably should not trust him.
Well, I kind of nod. I know what you're thinking. This reactor, it's here in this facility?
The reactor is, he explains to you that the reactor is the three, well, yeah, this facility is the reactor. The 3 silos that you see above open and receive the power of the lightning that is then processed through the liquid copper that then, well, if he could figure out how to make it all work, that he would have gotten extreme power from. But at this point, it's basically very heavily damaged. And the Migo are really just using the power to try to, awaken this this crab god, which I will tell you the name of in a second. I feel like that's probably important. It's only important for Nikki's write up. The god is Chalk. Chalak.
Chalak.
Well, if he can help us destroy the remaining Migo, I say that we let him, but we should not delve into anything involving some god. But if he can help us destroy these Migo and finish them off, I say that we need to keep a close eye on them.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what element of this has to do with the obsidian pillars elsewhere on the island?
The pillars are a device used to control the giant crab god so that it will not awaken and escape. As long as they are there, the god cannot escape.
Oh, I'm really glad we disintegrated 3 of them.
Ah!
Why do you tell him that?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're part of
But
the
the
device.
pillars were made by the Migo, yes?
With his help. Yeah. He helped make them. Yeah, basically he tells you it's been years. I mean, they were here for several years trying to take this old technology and create basically a containment. And obviously, he like shrugs with his liquid hands. They've gotten pretty good at it. So yeah, they basically they use his own technology against him.
Man, if we only had a cell phone, we could call those librarians back in the city and ask them to look up this guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just... So their Migo are trying to destroy Hyperborea with the power of the crab god.
Yeah, essentially, let me make sure I got all of it because he knows everything, so he would have told you. Okay, so he's a sorcerer. He was experimenting, as I said. I'll give you all the information. Yep. So right, the Migo told him was that they were working to contain Chalak, so basically they could use the power of the lightning reactor to kick butt, which he was obviously part of. But then he realized they were also looking to drain the device drains the soul of the imprisoned. So it's literally draining the god's soul, so the Migos can become, use the god's power, basically become gods themselves in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
They
got
want
it now.
to they want to awaken Chalak, and siphon his energy, and and use it to summon their own god, Shub Negaroth,
Oh,
which is never a good thing.
no.
Yeah, and also
No.
another question, Daniel. I don't know if we would be able to notice this, but just by observing and listening to the blob, does he seem to be in more of a weakened state in this form than say if he turned back to human? I mean, like, would he be? Do we think he'd be an easier challenge in this form than if he was human? I guess is my question.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much tells you that he's weak, and he's at least you think. I mean, he seems to be pretty upfront that he's in a very weakened state. He tells you, in fact, that he has very limited magic right now, but he is a powerful sorcerer, and with his spell books, he could help you. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of at your mercy, and he's not. He doesn't try to hide that. He needs your help.
Yeah, I
he basically
mean,
says.
yeah, Brickhill would like to say she would be for him going to, with us because he probably knows the layout better and maybe know where we find the rest of the Migo, but just that if he does something stupid that we do what we have to do.
Yeah, and I would agree.
Yeah, I don't know if really saying it has anything. So what he could just so he puts it out there on the table just in case you need any of this. He has the ability to, well, he has invisibility for himself, of course. He has the invisibility hemisphere. He's basically friends with that guy. He also has Sorcerer Eye, which I think allows you to see at a distance. I have to see what it was. And he has Legend Lore. So if you find anything interesting, that's how he's been able to find his information. But he's other than that, he's not really his ability to fight is very much non-existent because he's a big blob. So yeah, but he can lead you around, and he knows how the machines work. So it's if you encounter any kind of weird machines in this thing, so he tells you. I mean, you already know some of this because you encountered him much later in the module than maybe it was intended. But yeah, he basically tells you that there's multiple levels and that there's things on different levels and stuff like that. So he kind of knows what's around, and he can tell you. In fact, he could even tell you what's in the other room that you haven't been in yet.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah. That is where the Migo keep their collected brains. He tells you it's likely guarded because they're constantly, working on the brains. They don't guard him anymore because they figured that he couldn't get out except for that you just helped him. But you would like you to help him get his spell books, though. They're in actually the room that Rickle doesn't want to go in. They're in A14.
Oh, wow.
Well, she can pass right through, and we can help him get it. I can help him find the spell books, or we can, me and Enzo and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll go stand guard outside the hallway or whatever while y'all search that room more or whatever.
I would leave the brain room alone unless somebody's really wanting to go in the brain room.
Should-
Well, if there's a chance of me going there, I'd say we need to destroy them.
That's true too.
If he says, because he says that there's probably a chance of them being at least one in there. Guard, you said?
Yep.
He thinks that there'd probably be between 2 and 4 in there. Because there's usually 2 that are working, but sometimes they have guards as well. So there could be any number up to 4, depending on how many you've killed. I'm assuming that you told him some of the stuff that you've killed, some of the Migos and stuff.
Would he know if they're like working, like the workers in there, would they be armed too? He would say or not?
Yeah, most of the Migo carry laser pistols.
All right.
Well, we could try to ambush them. I have ambusher, so we could try to surprise them.
Absolutely.
Yes, anything to our advantage for sure.
Okay. I mean, again, it doesn't. It might help. He can cast a group invisibility. Since Ezra's not there, he's more than willing to do that. And once he has his spell books, he tells you he has more power, but he would need to study them, of course. So you can do that immediately. So if you want, he can cast the invisibility spell.
What do you
coming in
have to
the
do, Enzo, to do the ambusher deal? What would you have to do?
It's just an ability I have.
Oh, okay.
It's just a +1 to surprise and a +1 to be surprised.
And you can do that inside
I
the
definitely say
Amico
we
layer.
go to that room.
What about Barbarian?
Yeah.
When traversing the wilds alone or with others of like ability, the Barbarian's face surprise chance increases. So you'd have to scout alone if you wanted to be, and also you're not in the wilderness. So I'm going to say that's probably not going to be relevant now.
I thought it said that I could also add it to the group.
Furthermore, when outdoors and working with the untrained, the Barbarian increases by 1 the party's chance to surprise, if he positions and prepares them accordingly.
We had to be outdoors though.
Yeah, either way, you'd have to be outdoors. So that would work if like you set up an ambush in a let's say an A14 and then like lured them out. That's how you would do that. Sneaking up on people, you wouldn't get it. That's more like a thief thing, I think. So you won't get that, but you can be invisible, which will give you a bonus to being to surprise. If you will.
And I was not so into the whole invisibility thing.
Well, you don't have to be. It's up to you. That's all he can really offer right now. Like I said, those are the spells he has.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see what Sorcerer Eye does, because he could use that for you.
Well, Enzo, maybe you could also act as a diversion. You could yell out, and we could draw their attention towards us, and the rest of us will be invisible and get them when they get here.
Yeah, sure.
Fair enough. Conjuration sends invisible. Let's see.
Ooh.
You can use the Sorcerer Eye if you want. Although he has to sit cross-legged, so I don't know how he's going to do that. But if you open the door, he can use the Sorcerer Eye, which is invisible, and he can float it down that corridor and look to see what's down there if you want. Would you like him to do that?
yeah, why not? I mean,
Okay. I mean, this is what he's got to offer. So yeah, if you open the door, you all get up in this room. He wants the spell books, of course, but he'll do this first because obviously, if Miko kill everybody, then he's not going to have much of a chance at anything. So he'll sit. You know, the blob like kind of floats in the air, and then you see it like cross its legs somehow. I don't know how it's doing that. It's like all swirled up like a pretzel, and you see. Well, you don't see because it's invisible. He sends forth a sorceress eye, and after about a minute, he says to you that there are 2 Mikos in there. They are armed with laser pistols, but they are checking on the brains, so they seem to be not super alert.
They're up here at A15.
They're at A15. There's 2 of them. Yep, they're around the corner.
The Abricchio is going to suggest that Enzo stand here, around this corner, around close to the door, and like
Okay.
yell and scream out, and the rest of us be invisible in the hallway. So when the 2 Migo run this way, we can zap them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And that
Too.
way Enzo would still be out of the way of harm too.
Okay, so the rest of the party is going to be out in A14, or are you going to be in this hallway?
Yeah, this hall right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're going to hope that they... Oh, I gotcha. Perfect. Okay, yeah, you can position yourself with your laser pistols. He casts the invisibility hemisphere on one of either Brigil or Podesta or whoever wants to be cast, but you guys have to stay next to each other. He's not going down there because he can't fight, but he casts it on you, and he floats back to get his spell book because he's done his job now. And you're going to yell, Dougal? Would you like to role play that out?
Yeah, Enzo will shout down, "Hey, you ugly bastards, come get me!"
Nice. All right. You don't hear anything. Oh no, you hear chittering, right? Because they make that chittering sound that makes people fall asleep. Yeah, and you guys see a Miko, just one, walk around the corner with a laser pistol in his hand. He doesn't see you, of course, because you're invisible, and he starts to head up towards where you don't see him, of course, because you're. I guess you ran back after you called. You hear it coming. Just one. The other one doesn't seem to be. They're just sending one to check. Do you want to shoot this one, or do you want to wait till it goes past you?
Yeah, no, I want to shoot him.
Okay. We don't have to roll initiative. You guys definitely have surprise. You're invisible and standing there. So everybody's doing missile. Vanessa, Dougal, and Brickhild are all going to shoot him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to wait. Like if Vanessa hits him, I'm going to. Can I move? Stay invisible and keep moving up to A15.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think as long as only she will turn visible when she attacks. So if you're going to do that, that was your plan. Then we'll say the spell was cast on Brickhild. What's Dougal's plan?
Same as Brickhild.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Vanessa's going to shoot, and if the thing goes down, then you'll move forward. If not, then one of you guys will shoot. I guess Dougal first, because that makes the most sense if the spell's cast on Brickhild. So let's have Vanessa shoot. Make a shot at the poor innocent Migo that's walking up the hallway all by himself.
Mm-hmm. Even try it.
One.
I rolled 17, so that hits armor class -2.
So it's two. Vanessa materializes, and let's see if the Migo dematerializes. His save is a 14, I believe. Roll to 20. Oh, yes. So he steps out, and I'm sure you wait till he gets a little around the corner so the other one doesn't see, and he disappears, and possibly his weapon. I'll let you roll it. Roll the save for the this. You want to get high. You want to get 18 or better.
19.
19. Okay, so which is good because you'll have an extra laser pistol, but bad because the laser pistol clatters on the ground. But it's fine. Since the other people are already on the move, I'll give Dougal and Brickhild their shots on the other guy. You run around the corner. The other guy kind of looks up. He seems to be tending to some brains. You can see that there's there's more of the globes that are kind of in front of these brain jars, and they've got their long fingers inside. Well, he's got his long fingers inside manipulating them. So go ahead and take a shot, Mike, with the laser pistol. No, that doesn't hit. AC 8. And Brickhild.
-1 AC.
Oh, that's exactly his AC. All right, he's gonna make a saving throw. Let's see. He's got a 14 saving throw. Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got his fingers, and I think he looks up and so he fully disintegrates except for his fingers, which are still stuck in them.
Nice.
And
I guess a save for the pistol.
Yep, roll save for the pistol. 18 or better.
No, it disintegrated.
Yeah, he had it on his hip, which kind of makes sense, I guess, right? So gets disintegrated, but you will be able to pick up one more pistol with that pistol with a we'll say they're full. They're always full when you first get them, just to make it easy for me. So 28 shots on it.
28. Okay.
Yeah. 6-inch finish. Hold on. Okay, so in here you've got maybe the sights are bent on yours, Dougal. So yeah, I'm sorry, it's not a globe that he has fingers in. There was like a table with holes. So let me read the description of this room. 6 1-foot diameter, 2-foot high cylindrical glass tanks fitted with dull metal lids and filled with clear blue liquid rest on a 3 by 12-foot onyx table. Inside each of the tank floor, inside each of the leftmost 3, a brain bobs gently, tethered to the tank floor by a thin silvery cord. So basically, you got these brains floating with a little cord coming up. In front of each one are those little holes. And I have a picture. I like this. So share this. I'm just going to share the whole thing because I don't screenshot it. You've already been in that other room anyways. Okay, share. There we go. Is it sharing? It is, right? So you can see the brains. You basically got 3 brains, and then 3 empties, and in front are those like finger hole things, and then of course some other apparatus. So yeah, gross. Yeah, and they're dead. I mean, you pick up the pistol. He's in the other room getting his spell books. The barbarian's probably hanging out there as well, I guess. This room, otherwise, is more or less empty. I mean, again, there's lots of like Migo technology stuff in here, but just like generic Migo technology, if you will. So it's nothing worth describing beyond the fact that the brain thing is here.
Yeah, I mean, Brickhill wouldn't spend too much time there. I mean, unless Dougal wanted to. I mean, she would just note that and leave it like it is.
Yeah, Dougal will go around, just touch all the jars.
Okay, well, you see that the one jar in front of it, that Miko's fingers are still kind of stuck in those holes. They're kind of loose, but they're stuck in the holes. If you touch the jars themselves, nothing seems to happen, though.
What if I stuck the Miko's fingers?
If you touch the fingers, they kind of like move inside the holes, and let's see which one it was, because we made it random. So there's 3 of them, so pick a number, 1 through 3.
3.
3. Nice, okay. Yeah, you move the fingers up, and all of a sudden you hear emanate in the room a voice. And it says, oh, you must help me. I am Krotos. Our ship was overtaken by crabmen and strange creatures. They've taken my body. I'm quite sure that I could get a reward for you if you save me. But destroy those other jars. They're in league with the crabmen.
Okay. I take the Miko's fingers out of that one and I stick it into the next jar.
Okay. So you stick it in the next one, and it kind of like yells at you. It says, "Gullivan, Gullivan, Gullivan," which you recognize as a name.
I stick it into the next jar.
This one has kind of like a female voice. Like a, well, I don't want to say because my thing will start talking.
Right.
It's like, good, perfect. Take my jar. I am Shazgoran. You must know me, magician from Khromarium. We came here seeking the treasure of Atlantis, but Krotos is a thief. He is in league with the crabmen. Destroy his jar and take mine. I will get you 10,000 gold when we return back to Khromarium. You have my word.
Brickhill
more
hears
brains
that,
in here?
and she looks at Dougal and she goes, "Okay, that voice just told you they were seeking treasure like we are. So that means they are more than likely broke. So how do you think they're going to pay you 10,000 gold? Let's leave them where they are and go back to the rest of our party."
Okay. I could do that. I'll take the
Well,
one with the woman.
You scoop her up. Okay. Yeah. You kind of pick up the jar and you're kind of carrying the woman's brain.
Yes.
Okay.
Slosh, 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 slosh.
All right, brain in a jar, make a note. Sagor is in. There's her name. Nobody in Hyperborea is named like Bob.
When we get back to the rest of them, I'm going to look at Enzo and Panesta and go, Dougal thinks this brain that he found in this glass jar is going to, he was able to communicate it using the Migos technology in there, but he thinks that taking this brain back to Khromarium, that this brain is going to pay him 10,000 gold pieces. I told him it was foolish, but he wanted to insist he brings it with him.
That brain may not pay us 10,000 gold pieces, but maybe someone will pay us some gold pieces for the brain.
Right? Are you taking the Migo fingers too, Dougal, so that we can have somebody else talk to the brain?
Try sticking my own fingers in the holes.
Well, the holes were on the desk, so they're not on the jar by itself. The jar doesn't have any.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like a little connector at the bottom of the jar that goes into the
Oh,
desk. Yeah, you have to walk back to the desk if you want to talk to the brain.
how are we going to get it to communicate who it is? We can't just walk up to a random person in Khromarium and say, "Hey, this brain says you'll pay us money," that kind of thing. I suppose we could do that. It could be a scam we do. Pay us for these brains.
Well, I mean, if you tell them the name, Dougal, both
Yeah.
Prenesta and Brighild, you spend a lot of time in Khromarium now with a new business, so we'll give you a 1 in 6 chance for Brighild and a 2 in 6 for Prenesta that you may have heard this person's name before.
yeah, Sigurdsson,
Oh man, I barely missed it. Got a 2.
the magician.
Oh, I got a 1 that time.
Yeah, you've heard of this magician. You know that I mean, assuming that they're being honest, they're part of the Sorcerers Guild in.
See? She might be
Oh,
good
and
for it.
you're right. And I actually know a sorcerer in Khromarium. So
Well, as long as Dougal, I guess, watches over it and nothing ill comes of it.
Yeah, what do you feed a brain? I mean, so
Well,
Okay,
it's
so you got
probably
the
in-
brain. Are you keeping that pedestal as well? Because now you're getting like all this stuff. The broken pedestal that you have in your.
slapping up against the glass.
He's probably
Ugh.
enjoying that.
I'm assuming it's some
So-
sort of nutrient fluid, though, Dougal. I don't think you have to feed it.
Oh,
Yeah. So also in that room A14, the necromancer Vansh, now reformed, goes over to where there's 2 melon-sized globs of yellow putty and kind of like scoops them into himself. And he says, he's right when I say he says, he's like writing on his body in like weird, forms of different typefaces and stuff, but in the common tongue. And he says, "Aha, my spell books. It looks like one of them has been damaged, but given some time to study, I could help you with many magical incantations. I'm totally a good
Yeah.
guy."
That is fine, but we're not going to stay in this room here and study.
No, definitely not.
No,
go
definitely
down.
not.
We need to go deeper.
You're probably right, Dougal.
I know.
Or maybe we could go somewhere, one of these rooms that is secured enough, we could rest enough to give him enough time to study his books.
If we go deeper, I'm sure we will find what we are looking for.
Not yet. We could go back to like Ricky would suggest like at 18, 19, or 20, because those rooms are all pretty secure, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, you would be trapped if somebody tried to come in, but you got the door closed. I mean, there'd have to be a choke point for sure. I mean, there'd be no way to get out, I should say, if they raided you, but you're pretty secure in there, yeah. The only places we have really seen locked doors, like locked doors that you had trouble getting through, was the A4, where we disintegrated that hemisphere. Everything else that you've been able to get through pretty easily by just putting the key in. So, yeah, they're secure, but I mean, anybody with a key could probably get it unless you figure out a way to block it. There's also the room with all the emeralds in the whirlwind.
Yes. Yeah, let's stay in there. That seems like it'd be a rest.
That seems safe. Yeah. I mean, and also
Go
you know how to
back
get out.
I want to go back to the red, the large red
A12, right?
812. Yes.
No, Brookhill's not going back in there. She'll stay out in that hallway, the atrium or whatever.
Well, A21 had that water that you all drink.
Oh yeah, the fountain, the waterfall.
Yes. Daniel sees up.
So that would seem like the best place, right? At least
Right.
we have some water there.
Yeah, well, you could keep some of the guards in the hallway there.
Is Daniel frozen?
Yes.
Oh, he sure is, isn't he?
Yeah, you're frozen.
Must be the internet.
Migo.
Yeah. There you go. Got him.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, just fine.
Okay, so because thinking if it was an internet thing, it would happen to both of us. There he is.
Okay, I'm back. Let's see if it worked. Yep. Okay, good. Should
Yep.
be good. Yeah, the stream was still going. I don't know what happened. It just, I think the cam link, which controls my like my camera and my audio both go into it. I think it just had a little like a you know, a little goof up, so I just reset it. Okay, so though they're probably not a bad time. So if you guys want to set dress, I totally forgot to do a break, and it's 9:30. Do you guys want to break now, or do you want to just go a little bit? Basically, you cleared this level. We could either kind of stop here, or we could take a break and come back and do a little bit longer to go to. What do you guys feel like doing?
I say it'd be fine by me to stop for the night if it's okay, because I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, it's a good clean
Is that what
breaking
you?
point.
Yeah, because I mean that way if the rush and y'all make it next week, it'd be a good place to pick up.
Yeah, and we can get you guys get a rest in this room because this room is pretty safe. So we'll get everybody to roll up, you know, rest hit points, and we can get this. I can let you guys know, you know, in between what spells this guy has and everything. So, you know, he's pretty powerful. Yeah. So let's just do it there. Let's leave it there. Thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Sorry
And
we haven't been
Dougal can
inactive,
talk-
but we will. Go ahead.
Dougal can talk to his brain in a jar.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
But
you have you have like a basically the inside of a lamp with a lava lamp floating around you, and you are carrying a brain in a jar. So it doesn't get much better than that. All right.
Nope.
Nothing wrong with me.